Welcome to this week's collective energy reading. I'm going to be using the Forecaster Oracle to take a look at what's going on in the collective energy this week, to see how that may be affecting the world stage and world predictive events, and then I'll look at a personal prediction, how you can best navigate or make the most of these energies this week. Last week was a great week. Last week was positive energy and clarity, so I really hope that you're able to use last week as a moment to set some clear intentions or to use some manifestation techniques. I am away for a couple of weeks, so I will be back so another week off, and then I'll be back with the astrology side of this as well. But for now, I'm just doing the 3 sections, which is collective energy this week, predictive energy this week, and personal prediction. So let's get straight into this reading. This is the collective energy reading for the week starting from the 22nd of February. So let's see what the cards want to reveal to us today. So what's happening in the collective energy this week? Well, I forgot to mention that collective energy is multi-perspective, so it comes from all different viewpoints. I usually look into where the energy feels the most densest or where it feels the most popular, so the most energy going into that space. So, and what I mean by that is that what part of the collective energy is screaming the loudest is what I'm normally reading into. I feel shifting energy though this week. I feel in some forms it is calm, uplifted, but very much directing to multi-source perspective, many viewpoints. So it is showing in some areas, some places, some people, there is civil unrest, people taking action, rebellion energy, tense energy, people feeling like they need to make a stand over something. But then on other areas, we're still sitting in this kind of calm energy where there's still a bit of a break energy. People are still focusing on their vital wellness, their mental health. They're taking time out away from social media, the news, those kind of things. Things where it's been intense. It has been intense over the last few months. Last week was a bit of a reprieve, and I feel some people are still sitting in that energy. But I do feel some people are starting to rise again with intensity, which is indicating to me that something may be coming or happening. Whether that means it's something to do with the planets, which I'll be reading in a couple of weeks when I get back, or it's something to do with solar activity. It could be to do with failed negotiations, which are not on the table, but something that changes the energy again. So where we come out of clear energy, calm energy, rest energy, uplifting energy, and we move into energy of shift and change again. So we see external pressures, outside influence. So internally, we could be facing, or a lot of us could be really focused on vital wellness, healthcare, rest, having social media breaks, because of the intense energy that there has been, especially with Epstein files and all of those things. People really focusing on their well-being and their mental health. and focusing on raising their vibration, improving the situation, improves the collective energy. It also improves your mental health. It brings clarity to your mind, which then in turn helps you with redirecting any negative energy that's or obstacles or hurdles that are sent your way. Now, what I'm picking up here is that when you are in clarity, calmness, wellness, uplifting, positive approach, all these are cards on the top line. When an obstacle or hurdle or something hits you, or something stands in your path, or you're hit with some kind of news on social media, externally, outside of your own body, you're better able to handle that energy because you are coming at it from a place of rest. If you allow yourself to be taken over by fear-based energy, the external pressures that's happening outside of your physical body or outside of the collective energy, that is when it turns into unrest. So I feel there's this shifting energy or something going on where we're focused on internal pursuits, we're focused on clarity, we're focused on wellness, we're focused on optimism and improving the situation for the collective with its many viewpoints. But I feel there's something going on externally that is trying to pull us back into that dark energy, that energy of external pressures, civil unrest, tension. So really, really important here to do what you know is best for you. If you feel you need to make a stand, you make a stand. If you feel that for your mental health, you still need more time away from social media, more time away from the news, from social pressures, external pressures, then you do that for you. Because what's most important this week for the collective and for you personally is your vital wellness. So if you are still recovering, if you have health issues anyway, then you need to still be focused on your wellness and not engage in this energy of external pressures which cause tension in the collective. If you feel strong enough that you feel that there's something that you need to make a stand on, then you do that. I'm not saying what you should rise to and whether you should do nothing. I'm not indicating that at all. I'm saying focus on your mental health. I'm focused on, are you strong enough? Do you have enough clarity of the situation? Can you see clearly what is real and what is not real? Can you see clearly if something is just fear-based in order to get you to bite? So that's what I'm saying. Make sure you've got clarity in the situation. Make sure that you're focused on your optimism, positive approach, and your wellness. That's your mental health as well, because there may be a little bit of this energy here. It's saying it's shifting energy. I feel it comes in from because there's more pressure coming in. So what do you focus on? You focus on what is right for you this week. So let's move into the world stage energy to see what's going to be coming predictively. So in the world stage this week, predictive energy for the week ahead, I'm reading a couple of weeks in advance because I am away at the moment. But I do feel long-term vision, foundational infrastructure. Now, what I'm picking up out of that card is it's something that the elites or the governments have been working on for a long time, may start trying to make those changes now. So whether that means we may be seeing something on our media about some kind of new policies, new laws, new rules, it could be censorship, it could be to do with education even, because I'm feeling there's an authoritarian response or forced compliance. Now that's what's making me think like new rules coming in, new laws, that is forced compliance. So this is something they've been working on for a long time, and they'll start to make some changes or shifts to that. Now, I don't know if that is to do with, say, in Australia we have censorship laws that they're still kind of working with. What this is making me think, now this may not be Australia, this may be anywhere in the world because it's a world stage that I'm reading, it's making me think what brought in the censorship laws for Australia was the Bondi terrorism attacks, or the Bondi attacks, we'll call them, because they don't actually call them for what they are. But that put Australia in a state of emergency. Something needed to be done about that situation. There needed to be transitional shifts or change at the foundational level. There had to be changes to infrastructure, changes to foundations, changes to policies and laws. They were forced compliance. There's even a speech of our PM saying they are. Not in those words, I'm not quite sure of the words he used, but there is no other way. This is the way it's going to be. So that to me is forced compliance. There was no, what do the people think of this? It was just, we are in a state of emergency because of what happened with Bondi. We need to make some changes at the foundational level, which means changing policies, which they voted on at 10:30 at night and brought it in very fast. And then there was the people had no say in the situation. This energy is coming up. So this energy this week is saying maybe there's something coming in the collective or predictively in the world that has that same kind of catalyst feel to it. So something that happens requires changes at a foundational level, which can mean policies, new laws, new resources, new education, force compliance, mandatory. But there's some hidden connections here. I feel the hidden connections is somehow related to something that has been a vision over a long period of time. These changes or shifts that have been always intended to come in, they've created some kind of problem in order to offer the response to bring in the necessary changes. But there's hidden dynamics going on here, connections that we're not being shown. So this is an eyes open situation for world events. Keep an eye on new policies, keep an eye on government wanting to bring in new rules. Keep an eye on something that happens this week that gets people talking. We need more censorship, we need more security, we need more changes to a certain situation that has been unfair or wrong. Now this could also be related to some kind of education on some kind of policy, or it's not even a policy, it's something that has felt stirring or uprising within the collective. Needs to be a little bit more learning or resources on that situation. It's deeply connected to state of emergency. I'm actually just picking something else up here as I'm talking. Sometimes I talk and I should listen. So this state of emergency is a situation that happens where an immediate action needs to be taken. An immediate response needs to be taken. New policies, new learning, new education systems, changes to current situations, mandatory, with a hidden, unseen connection, but always part of a long-term vision. So this week, it's eyes open, pay attention to what's going on. Let's take a look at the personal predictions and how we can navigate this energy. This is a personal section and how to best manage this energy that's coming in this week. First of all, I want to say eyes open, based on what's going on in the collective or the world stage. But here I'm seeing once again people taking action, people merging and joining forces. There's a need to keep light here because there's terror energy in the air, energy of things being rising inundation of terror energy, fear-based, and what I mean by that is fear-based energy, rising inundation of fear-based energy in order to dim the light of people that have been too optimistic, shining the light too brightly, or putting too much positivity into the collective energy. But what these bottom three cards say to me is that there is a joining forces, a merging taking place over this week, or what we need to do. This is what we need to do on a personal level, how we should be navigating this incoming inundation of fear-based energy. First of all, I want to be drawn to the sunglasses that says take off those rose-coloured glasses. You know, the ones where you see the situation as positive when it's really not. see the truth in the situation. The sun brings clarity. In the tarot, the sun means clarity. So I'm getting out of this is that this week, personally, what should we do? We need clarity. We need to see the truth in the situation. Possibly needing to, or there'll be a call to, or an urge or a feel to people merging together because of these bottom two cards. Keeping faith and hope in unity. So what are we doing on a personal level based off these cards? They're saying, keep your eyes open to fear-based energy. See it for what it really is. There's going to be an inundation of this kind of energy intentionally put into the collective. It's because of a catalyst event or something that happens. Again, we could be going into rising energy where people are feeling the need to do something. So this week it's about clarity. It's about keeping your eyes open, clarity with that sun card. It's about being aware of this inundation of fear-based energy, doing your best with your own energy, but where that need, there's going to be this feeling or need to feel like you have to join forces with others, a catalyst event that causes energy that the collective needs, feels unrest in the collective and wanting to come together. So there's that kind of energy already there. But here it's saying really have your eyes open, have clarity about the incoming fear-based energy, that catalyst event or whatever it is that's in the energy this week. I do hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and I will see you again next week.